Welcome to Talk Mode. In today's episode, we're going to talk about New Year's resolutions, setting objectives for 2024, and how we go about achieving them. Today, we're talking about, as I mentioned in the intro, talking about 2024 objectives and goals. Now, if you listen to the last couple of episodes, maybe 2 episodes ago, we talked a little bit about instead of setting New Year's resolutions at that point, we reflected on the previous year's New Year's resolutions, how we did against them, and whether we achieved them or not, etc., etc. And we examined some of the reasons why I might not have achieved some things. So today I'm going to go through some of the goals I'm setting for myself this year, the way I'm setting them, and how I feel is the right way to go about to achieve them. And hopefully, some of that can help you go ahead and achieve your goals. So let's before I even get into what my goals are personally, let's talk a little bit about how we can go about achieving our goals for 2024 or objectives, whatever you want to call them. People call them New Year's resolution, etc., etc. I believe you can start them at any time, but New Year's is a great time to start thinking about these things. So fair enough. So in this particular case, let's say we call them our 2024 goals. How do we go about achieving them? Now, if you think of a business, yeah, I've kind of used a business before as an example of setting New Year's resolutions. A few years ago, when I did setting SMART objectives, that's specific, measurable, actionable, was it realistic and time bound? I believe it is. I might be getting that slightly wrong, but essentially, we're talking about doing SMART objectives. And I thought, well, let's apply other elements of how a business goes about achieving its goals, and see if we can extrapolate that into our yearly goals. So let's break it down. A business would review its results quarterly, wouldn't just wait for the whole year to finish and then see, oh yeah, we didn't achieve this goal. You'd review it in shorter increments, maybe quarterly would be a start to say, oh, well, how far are we this quarter towards our main goal? Oh, we've not got there yet. All right, so we need to amend something for the next quarter and realign ourselves so that we hit that goal that we want to hit at the end of the year. So, although it's important to set an overall goal, I would set myself, well, this year I'm going to set myself smaller goals. So that might be quarterly. Then we could even break it down even further if we really want to, and set ourselves some mini goals that could be monthly. So we could, like a business, some businesses will review their performance monthly, or might review an employee's performance monthly. Well, why can't we do that for ourselves against our own goals in life? Yeah, for the year. You could break it down even further if you want to, and what you need to do. The question would be, what do you need to do to achieve that monthly goal? And you could break it down to a weekly goal or even a daily goal, and then you can, if you've got a daily goal or you've got a weekly goal, you've got something you can actually take action towards on a daily or weekly basis and follow that result through till you got to your month and then your quarter and then your end of year goal. So let me use one of my goals that is a running goal I've had for quite a while now, is to lose weight. And this particular year, I want to lose weight by about 10 kilos, right? So let's use that as an example of how I'd break it down. So if I want to lose weight, I will lose 10 kilos. That is my goal for 2024. Let's break it down to a quarterly goal. So we divide that by four quarters. So that means the first quarter, I want to lose 2.5 kilos. That feels a little bit more manageable, right? We got 3 months to lose 2.5 kilos. Well, let's break it down even further. If I want to break it down per month, how many grams do I need to lose in a month to lose 2.5 kilos in the first quarter? And that would be 833 grams a month. That sounds like nothing. I should be able to lose a lot more than that in that amount of time. But let's be conservative. Let's say we're giving myself the whole year to lose 10 kilos. In that first month, I only lose 833 grams. Well, now the question is, how do I lose the 833 grams a month? I can break it down further and say I've got to lose, it means I've got to lose around 210 grams a week, which again sounds like nothing, right? 210 grams a week is what I need to lose. So let's talk about what kind of things I can do daily to achieve that. I could take daily walks, which is one of my objectives for this year. So spend more time outside, take daily walks, and that will help me lose the 210 grams that I'm aiming to lose in a week. Other thing I could do for the week is have at least 5 home-cooked meals. So make sure I'm eating at home 5 times a week. And it's healthier to eat at home, stuff you know what's going in there. So if I do that, maybe that'll help to lose that extra 210 grams I will lose. Maybe I don't drink any fizzy pop, which again is something that I'm trying to do now, and that will help me lose the 210 grams. Maybe I'll do all of those things, and then also put myself in a calorie deficit or do whatever to then go ahead and achieve that goal. But 210 grams in a week sounds so achievable compared to saying I want to lose 10 kilos this year. It's two very different things. And that's how I feel it is the right way to go about achieving your goals. You're breaking it down. You're breaking it down to the lowest level, to the current time. A lot of people focus so much on, oh, this is my 5 year plan, or this is my plan by the end of this year. I want to be here, I want to be there. But no one's actually thinking about, yo, how can I actually achieve that? What actions do I need to take on a daily basis to get to that point? And by breaking it down and breaking that goal down from a year to a quarter to a month to a week to even a day, if that works for you. For me, that would be a bit too much, so I'm breaking it down to a week. But if you want to break it down to a day, you could do that. And I am breaking it down to a day. I'm just not putting a weight on it. I'm just putting, right, what do I need to do every day this week to get to my goal of what I want to achieve by the end of the week, which was 210 grams in this example. And then if I do that for 4 weeks, I should be able to achieve my objective of losing 833 grams by the end of the month. And if I achieve that every month for 3 months, I'll get to my 2.5 kilos for the end of the quarter. And if I achieve that for every quarter till the end of the year, I'll get to my 10 kilos that I want to get off. Now, let's break it down a little bit, like pull it back a little bit and say, let's say we've got into month one. Yeah, month one is done and I've only lost 500 grams. Yeah, I'm giving it small numbers, but let's say I've only lost 500 grams. Well, that means, well, look, month one, we reviewed our performance. We lost 500 grams. It's not quite good. We did some things right because we lost some weight, but there's other things we clearly didn't do right because the target we'd set ourselves wasn't too large, right? So we should have been able to lose 833 grams in a month, but we didn't. So that means there's something we're doing wrong and we need to amend something. So this, we'd sit there, month one, review, maybe let's change some habits, let me do something different, and hopefully month two will yield better results. We get through to month two, end of month two, we're like, right, this month we did lose our 833 grams. So that means what we've done is correct, but we also lost an extra 100 grams. So we made up for some of the deficit from the last month. Right, that means in month three, we got to go a little bit harder so we can make up the rest of the deficit from that first month where we only lost 500 grams instead of 833. So we need to still cover another 233 grams extra to stay on task to achieve the end goal for the year. Now, obviously, you can cover that deficit over a longer period of time, but for me, I want to achieve my quarterly goal. That's the aim right now. Yeah, forget the yearly goal. I just want to achieve my quarterly goal. And to achieve that, I need to cover the deficit from that first month. And that's how I would, or how I'm intending to go about my goals this year. So now that I've gone through how I'm looking to achieve them, I hope some of that helps you out and you can try and use those techniques to help you achieve yours. Let's talk a little bit about some of my goals this year and how I've gone about putting them down and identifying them. Previously when I've had goals, I've just been like, oh yeah, I'd love to be able to, I don't know, fly around the world by the end of the year. I'm just making one up, but let's say that, or one of the ones I had last year. Oh, I'd love to, I'd love to make an episode a week of the podcast, and those are fine goals. There's nothing wrong with them, but recently I've been doing a lot of research or watching a lot of videos and reading a lot of different books and stuff like that. And it talks about the psychology of goal setting and how you need to manifest stuff and all of that. And I'm not so much into that world of things, but I kind of like the way this was put to me, this was presented. I like the way this was presented, and therefore I'm kind of adopting this into my goal setting structure, right? So they do. Everyone's always said write down your goals, right? That's always been a thing. I don't necessarily always do it. I normally just I have it in my head somewhere, or it's roughly informed by the stuff I put in my calendar or whatever, right? But this time I actually sat down and wrote my goals down, and I'm going to give you a couple of examples and explain why I've written them the way I've written them. So first of all, I actually grabbed a pen and paper, write it down, yeah? And I wrote, instead of writing my goals in oh yeah, I want to lose 10 kilos this year, I've written, I have lost 10 kilos, yeah? I have spent more time outside. I no longer rely on a vape, and I have not bought anything just because I felt like it. Yeah. So if you see the change in direction here is I'm not writing stuff I hope to achieve. I'm writing stuff I have achieved, and I'm writing in that past tense, present tense way because that manifests itself, right? When I read this back at some point, uh, whether it's at the end of the quarter where I'm reviewing where I am against my goals, or I'm reading at the end of the year and I read it back and I'm like, oh, I have lost 10 kilos. Is that true or not? And I will know at the time, right? So I can tick it or cross it or be like, nope, I didn't manage to do that, or I have not done that. It's a lie, or whatever it is. I don't know, man. I don't know if it'll work. All right, but when I've read it back to myself, I feel better about the way it's written. Because I'm like, nah, I'm stating that now because that's where I'll be at the end of this year. That's the aim, right? So that's how I've written my goals down. And like I said, I'm breaking everything down. I'm breaking all of these goals down into quarterly goals, then breaking them down into monthly goals, and then trying to identify what I could do within that month. Maybe even break it down to a weekly, but identify what I can do within the month, within the week to achieve that end goal that I'm looking to achieve. So that is the way I'm doing things this year. I hope some of that was useful to you and informed you, and maybe it will help you set your goals and, more importantly, help you figure out a actionable way to achieve those goals in smaller steps. Yeah, we always, again, like I said, we always think about a bigger goal, but everyone keeps forgetting, well, how are we going to actually get there? Let's plan that out first. Yeah, everyone's so focused on what's happening in a year's time, they're not looking at what's happening today in front of you. And every day you got to be stepping in that right direction. So that's what I'm trying to do this year. I hope that was helpful. Thank you very, very much for listening. If you want to contact me, you can contact me at Wahab Originals on Twitter and Instagram. Take care. Goodbye.